All right, it is time to find some good movies to watch this weekend. We've got Jackson.com's Jackson Murphy. How are you?
Hey, Randy, doing well. How about you?
I am great. We've got a video meeting going, so we're going to post this up at 995theriver.com afterwards if you miss anything, but we're trying to find a good movie to watch this weekend. And we're starting out with a horror sequel.
That's right. The new Candyman is in theaters this weekend. Now, what I'm not going to do right now is say Candyman's name 5 times in a row, because then he will appear behind me on my Zoom screen and probably do some bad things. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that right now. But I saw this the other night. It's basically about a struggling artist in Chicago who learns of the Candyman legend. And the first Candyman movie came out in 1992. There are some definite connections to that. And then this guy gets really obsessed with the Candyman legend, and a lot of crazy things happen. This is from director Nia DaCosta. I like her vision, camera angles, her perspective, but my goodness, the story is dull. Holy cow. It is also not scary. I wanted to be scared.
Oh.
There aren't even moments where they try to scare you, really, until I guess towards the end, though the last 10, 12 minutes are an absolute mess. There's a lack of a sufficient story. I think this was just basically made to try to capitalize on the success of It, Halloween, Invisible Man, some of these other horror remakes and reboots that have happened in the past few years. Jordan Peele, one of the writers of this movie, he tries to infuse some social commentary into it, but it just does not work.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's scarier than we thought. Now you got a movie with a wrestler in it this weekend.
John Cena. He's been in a lot of movies lately, and this one's called Vacation Friends. It's a comedy on Hulu. Him and Lil Rel Howery, who's been in even more movies lately than John Cena. They're part of two couples. They meet while on vacation in Mexico. Then they go their separate ways for a few months. They basically reunite a few months later, and things don't go quite as well as they did the first time when they're back together. It's a raunchy comedy. I think one of those cases where if you've got Hulu and you're in the mood for a comedy, you'll turn it on for 10 or 15 minutes. And then if it just does not work for you after about 10 or 15 minutes, you will probably stop it and watch something else on Hulu or watch something else altogether. So one of those kind of hit or miss options this weekend.
Okay. And there's a new dramedy out
that I think is very good. It's called Together. James McAvoy and Sharon Horgan play a couple who not only share a 10-year-old son, but they also in this movie share their thoughts on everything that's been going on in the past year of this COVID crisis that we've all been dealing with. They're in the UK. There is a device that's used that I don't want to give away that makes this movie more than your average relationship dramedy. But I like it. At first, you may think, once you see the movie, that it's a gimmick, but it really does work. It allows the performances to be really strong, especially James McAvoy, and a very smart script that also brings in a lot of story surprises as we find more things out over the course of the hour and a half with these characters. It's directed by Stephen Daldry, 3-time Oscar nominee, did Billy Elliot, The Hours, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. He filmed this movie with these couple of actors in the UK earlier this year over a 10-day period. It actually aired on TV in the UK, but Bleecker Street decided, let's give it a theatrical run, and I'm so glad. It's a very strong, surprisingly good film.
Okay. We're talking to Jackson Murphy, our favorite movie reviewer. Now, this weekend, we also have a cartoon for adults.
Right. Okay. Cryptozoo. It had a 1-week run last week at the Spectrum, and now it's on VOD and digital. This is an adult animated feature, basically about a place, this Cryptozoo, where these unique creatures are, and it's about the keepers, and it's also about the people who want to do terrible things to the creatures. It is abstract, it is adult because of the content, but also the themes. I talked with director Dash Shaw and his partner Jane Samborski, who's the animation director, about their vision for it. It's kind of Jurassic Park with a more of an adult flair and quirky characters, quirky look to it. I mean, every scene looks different than the one that comes before it, all hand drawn, very interesting. So if you're in the mood for something little wild, little out there, kind of got a Woodstock vibe to it because it's set in the late 60s in the hippie era, then Cryptozoo is on VOD and digital.
Oh, wow. Sounds like we got some interesting things this weekend. All right,
Yeah,
Jackson,
yeah.
where can people find your reviews and all the information that you have to share on movies?
Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, and the website is lights-camera-jackson.com.
It's easy for you to say. All right, have a great weekend. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Randy.